And good afternoon and welcome to Georgetown High School baseball field. We're at the Georgetown Sports Complex in Georgetown, Texas for today's Region 4 Class 5A final between the McAllen Memorial Mustangs and the Leander Rouse Raiders. How do you do? I'm Mark May with Mario Reyna. And Mario, I guess take us a little bit through Game 1 was played last night. Tell us a little bit about that and then what we can expect here today.
Well, it's, when you're at this level, you're going to have two highly competitive ball clubs, and just the little things didn't happen for McAllen Memorial. But on the bright side, we know Memorial's a team of destiny. They believe in each other. They play with a big heart. And after, in the playoffs, after a loss, they have responded with a win. So let's see if they can do that this afternoon. Yeah, the Raiders romping to a 10-1 victory last night. They played on a neutral park in San Antonio at Northeast ISD. They out-hit the Mustangs 10-2. Mustangs also picked up 3 errors. But yeah, as you said, baseball is a sport where a team can suffer a big loss and then come right back the very next day. You've got different pitchers, different attitudes. In this case, we have a different ballpark as we're playing games 2 and possibly game 3 here at Georgetown High School. It's a Class 3A school, and this time Memorial will be the visiting team, so they will bat first, and then Rouse will be the designated home team. And on the mound for the Mustangs, Mark, so it's right-hander and UTRGV signee Manuel Villa, who had a complete game shutout following just allowing 4 hits and 1 walk in 7 innings. The last time he had a great game when it was a must-win situation against the McAllen Bulldogs. So you got the right pitcher on the mound for the Mustangs. Yeah, then the pitcher for the Rouse Raiders will be Oscar Salazar. And we'll get a read on him when he comes out here to pitch the top of the first. As you can see, the 2 respective coaches are out there right now talking to the umpiring crew. It's Coach Chad Crimpin in his 8th year as head coach of the Raiders, and for Memorial, Coach Roque Cortinas in his 2nd year as head coach of the Mustangs. And the umpires are from the Houston chapter. We have Dwayne Cooper will be behind the plate. Ken Leventhal will be at first, Philip Reynoso at second, and Dwayne Cooper at third. Houston chapter umpires. All right, let's listen in on the announcement of the starting lineups.
Number 13, center Kane Coy. Playing shortstop, number 22, Jose Rivera. Third base, number 99, Emilio Crespo. At first, number 34, Eloy Lozano. In right field, number 9, Jacob Sanchez. At second, number 17, Daniel Flores. At pitcher, number 12, Lucas Cabrera. DH tonight, number 5, Gail Rivera. On the mound, number 21, Daniel Villa. And left field, number 2, Estiel Gonzalez. Trying to get the rest of the Mustangs to join their teammates on the first base line. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pitch to the third base dugout for your home team this afternoon for the Leander Rouse Raiders. At second base, number 9, Leander Heyman. Left field, number 12, Tyler Espinosa. On the mound, number 8, Oscar Salazar. Center field, number 10, Landon Miller. DH for the Raiders, number 11, Andrew Sanchez. Behind the plate, number 14, Xander Parcell. On third, number 22, Nathan Miller. At first base, number 23, Mason Gonzalez. At short tonight, number 7, Jacob Solis. And in left field, number 31, Adrian Grace. Trying to get the rest of the Raiders to join themselves on the third base line. If I can ask the people in the audience to please stand and move the hats for the playing our national anthem.
There you heard the national anthem here at Georgetown High School. Rouse Raiders lead the best of 3 series, 1-0 Memorial in a must-win situation needs to win game 2 here, and then 30 minutes after game 2, if we're tied at 1 win apiece, they would play game 3, which would be the tiebreaker to decide who is the Region 4 champion and who would move on. I think we already know the opponent in the state semifinals would be out of Lucas, Texas. It would be Lovejoy High School. The Lovejoy Leopards won earlier, eliminating the Forney Jackrabbits to become the Region 2 champions. Lovejoy out of the Dallas area. So, of course, that's way off in the future. Right now, Mustangs need to focus on winning baseball here in Game 2 and then Game 3, which would follow right after. And as you heard, the starting lineups there. So for the Mustangs, it'll be Kane Coy, center fielder, batting first, followed by the shortstop, Jose Rivera, and then the third baseman, Emilio Pereza. Now, there's one key name who's missing from the lineup here, Mario, and that's Eric Serrano, isn't it?
That's correct, and I do believe in one of the games, if you recall, he had a ball that hit him off on the foot, foul tip, a foul ball, and since then it's been giving him trouble. So Kane Coy was having some good ball games, batting. He was batting 9th, but he was making things happen. So Coach Cortinas decided to put him in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, that happened to Serrano in the Kerrville-Tivy series, which is the series last week, played in Corpus Christi. How did they get here? Well, looking at the Mustangs, they defeated Brownsville-Porter in 2 straight games, then defeated Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial in 3 games, and then their crosstown rival, the Mackay Bulldogs, in 3 games, and then, as we mentioned, Kerrville-Tivy, they eliminated in 3 games. So they've had a lot of do-or-die games here played lately, haven't they?
The big key right there is that they had to go 3 games to make it happen. So that has to help them in a game like this where you have to win. So they played in those conditions, and they're ready. And here's how Leander Rouse, how they got here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, defeated Smithson Valley. That was in 2 straight. And then they won at area and went 3 games with San Antonio Alamo Heights. A regional quarterfinal, they defeated Cedar Park, who's from the Leander School District, in 2 straight. And then regional semifinals last week defeated Victoria East, also in 2 straight games.
They are playing good ball at the right time. They are 9-1.
Yeah, interestingly enough, both Leander Rouse and McAllen Memorial were 3rd in their district races, but have gotten hot at the right time of year here in the playoffs. Leander Rouse out of District 25, 5A, just north of Austin, and McAllen Memorial in District 31, 5A in the Rio Grande Valley. Here we are. Here's the first pitch from Oscar Salazar, right-hander, and that's in there for a strike.
Oscar Salazar comes in with a 10-win, 1 loss. 3-time All-Stater.
And here's a ground ball to third base, picked up. Throw to first base is in time, and Coy is retired.
And even though that's an out mark, it's a good deal for Kane Coy to put the ball in play. The Mustangs struggle in Game 1 with strikeouts, but this afternoon they have to put the ball in play, make things happen, and make Leander Rouse put a little pressure on him.
Yeah, 10 strikeouts by the Mustangs batters last night. Jose Rivera, the shortstop, is next man up. He was 1 for 3 with a run scored last night.
And actually, I had never seen this. Well, rarely he struck out, but since the ball went into the dugout, he got awarded second, and that's how he got to second base.
And second pitch is outside for a ball, so quickly he's ahead in the count at 2-0. Give you the defense here for the Raiders. We mentioned Salazar on the mound. Xander Forcell is the catcher. Give you the rest of the infield after this. It was the 2-0 pitch. And that missed inside, and it's going to be 3-0 now to Rivera. Mason Gonzalez is at first. Rainer Heinrich at second. Jacob Solis at short. Nathan Miller is the third baseman. 3-0 pitch is a strike at the outside. The outfielders for Rouse, Adrian Graves, Landon Miller, and Tyler Espinosa.
What a beautiful facility out here in Jordantown, Mark.
Yeah, gorgeous field here. They got the turf in 2017. Ground ball to second base, picked up by Heinrich. Throw to first, and Rivera is retired. 2 outs in the inning here for Memorial as Emilio Presa will step up.
Emilio Presa is the one that brought in the RBI yesterday with a double.
Yeah, 1 for 3 last night. The extra base hit. Here's the pitch from Salazar. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 on Presa.
The scouting report for Salazar, the pitcher, is he's got a good fastball and a good curveball, so he usually goes with one or the other.
And swing and a miss again. Strike 2 now on Presa. Now we did have some raindrops just before the game began. I think that has since subsided. We do have overcast skies here. No wind at this moment. The 0-2 pitch swung on and fouled off. It'll stay 0-2. Mustangs having their finest year in the 44-year history of the program, advancing all the way to the 5th round. Furthest they'd ever been before this was the 3rd round. This was fouled back. Still 0-2.
And what makes the McAllen Mustangs so dangerous, Mark, is the fact that a lot of people didn't believe in them, even from district play, and then they proved themselves, and then by district, and then area, and then regionals, and then the semifinals, but they're still here.
Still playing baseball. Only 8 teams left in the state of Texas. Actually, 2 have been eliminated. They're down to 6 now in Class 5A. By the way, that was a ball, so now 1-2. The Region 3 champion is Magnolia West. And we mentioned the Region 2 champion is the Lovejoy Leopards. And this is the championship for Region 4. Region 3 is still up for grabs.
Good job by Presa. He was down in the count with 2 strikes, and they were trying to set him up to see if he could go for a ball, and he didn't, so it's 2-2.
2-2 with 2 out. Nobody on. Top of the 1st. This is inside, and it's going to be a full count now on Presa, who has stayed in there and battled. Yeah, he had those 2 strikes to start with, like you pointed out, Mario, and has since battled back. This is the payoff pitch to Presa. As swung on, hit toward shortstop, picked up by Solis. Throw to first in time, and the side is retired. So the Mustangs go up 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 1st inning. No score, and the Raiders coming up to bat.
About learning.
We are about safe environments.
We are about going the extra mile.
We're about exploring our horizons.
We are about opportunities for all.
We are about excellence.
And welcome back. We're at Jordanton High School in Jordanton, Texas. Mark May with Mario Reyna, the rest of our MITV crew, bringing you Game 2 of this Best of 3 series. It's for the Class 5A Region 4 Championship. No score for the Mustangs in the top of the 1st. Coming up for Rouse here in the bottom half of the 1st inning will be their second baseman, Rainer Heinrich, to lead off, followed by the right fielder, Tyler Espinosa, and then the pitcher batting for himself, Oscar Salazar. Defense for the Mustangs, they've got Manuel Villa, the right-hander, on the mound. Lucas Cabrera behind the plate. Eloy Lozano at first. Daniel Flores at second. Jose Rivera at short. Emilio Presa at third. Itziel Gonzalez is in left field. Kane Coy in center. And Jacob Sanchez in right field.
if Manuel Villa can find his rhythm the way he did against Mackay, he will be a big challenge for the Raiders. How about all the supports that have been coming in McAllen ISD TV, Facebook, and YouTube? It's been amazing, Mark, and everybody back home that couldn't make it here, they're there. And everything that happened this past week at the McAllen Memorial High School, the pep rally they had for the kids was amazing. The send-off was unbelievable. So much support, not only by the McAllen Mustang fans, but also by the entire McAllen ISD and the city of McAllen, and for that matter, the entire Rio Grande Valley sports community.
Yeah, we even had local businesses, putting up signs of well wishes, like Good Luck Mustangs on their marquees. Some of the schools had that on their marquees for the Mustangs. A lot of support, everyone in the community rallying around the Mustangs. You mentioned Manuel Villa and his performance against Mackay in Game 2 of that series. Yeah, went 7 innings, struck out 5, walked only 1, allowed 4 hits, and no runs allowed. So, yeah, masterful performance there. That was in the third round. He also pitched against Tivy last week. And here's his first pitch today. And that's going to be low for a ball against Heinrich.
I mean, anytime if you're a pitcher and you are already committed to the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, you have to have good stuff.
And the 1-0 misses outside. It'll be 2-0 now. Heinrich last night also batted first in the order, was 2 for 3, and also walked twice. So he was on base 4 times.
And that was the key for him batting, Mark, and that's why he's at the top of the lineup. He had 2 walks, didn't get a hit, but those 2 walks ended up scoring. So he scored 2 times.
3-0 now after the check swing. Another check swing, but this one's a strike. Right over the middle, be 3-1.
And Mark, as a former umpire, as I've announced before, this is where the pitcher and the catcher, they have to discover here in the first inning, second inning, what type of strike zone the home plate umpire will give you.
And this is swung on, hit toward short, picked up by Rivera. Throw over to first is low, but in time to retire Heinrich. Scooped out by Eloy Lozano with skill, and Heinrich is retired.
Excellent job by Eloy Lozano. And that's what the Mustang pitcher Villa has to do. He cannot afford to walk too many people. Make them earn it, just the way Salazar did in the top of the first. He threw strikes, and he had 3 ground balls for outs.
So next batter up is Tyler Espinoza. He's the right fielder. Espinoza last night 0 for 4 with the run scored. Pitches outside, caught the outside corner though, 0-1. So it seems that this umpire, and I know it's early, has a little bit of a larger strike zone than what we saw when Memorial played Kerrville-Tivy last week.
And you're very right, Mark. And that's, I mean, as long as he does it for both teams, that is a mark of a good umpire. Consistency. Nice pitch.
And this one, breaking ball. Went right over the plate, 0-2 now on Espinoza.
Yes.
I was going to say the pitcher, Salazar, is on deck.
And now with 2 strikes, he pretty much can throw whatever he wants. His fastball.
And this is swung on, hit toward first. It's going to be foul.
And I know the Valley fans like to hear some shutouts real quickly. Mustang fans, Belinda Serna, Rachel Carmona, Joyce Soto, Brianna Lozano, Maria Elena Ingram. A lot of supporters down there in the Rio Grande Valley. Puro 956.
So 0-2 now on Espinoza.
Nice pitch.
This looked like a changeup there.
The reason that was a good pitch, it's a setup pitch, Mark. I mean, you try to get the batter to swing. So far, Villa looks like he has real good control.
So if we saw a changeup, do you think we'll see fastball here?
Here we go.
And swung on and missed. You're right, Mario. Got him set up, and then a swing and a miss, and Espinoza strikes out.
And once Villa gets into a rhythm, he even becomes more dangerous. Rebecca Savage de la Garza, Angel Martinez, David Mora, Felicia Villarreal. That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, Felicia Villarreal, our marketing coordinator from McAllen ISD and a big sports fan. And the first pitch to the pitcher, Salazar, is in there for a strike.
And what makes that pitch so dangerous for Villa, Mark, is that it's coming in. It's not a. It's coming in with a lot of energy, and it has a big break on it.
So the 0-1, swing and a miss, and it's 0-2 now on Salazar. Landon Miller on deck. He's the center fielder.
Yvette Solis Benavides. Let's go Mustangs.
This is inside, misses though. It's going to be 1-2.
That's another good pitch, Mark. Even though it didn't go for a strikeout, it's a setup pitch. And Manuel Villa, when you're throwing strikes, Mark, it makes the batters a little nervous.
This is swung on, ground ball to third base, picked up by Presa. Long throw is in time. Nice throw by Presa. And Lozano had to go to full stretch to pick that one up and retire Salazar. So 3 up, 3 down for each team in the first inning. Mustangs coming up to bat when we come back with the second inning right after this.
Last year I applied for a CrossFit equipment, and because we noticed that a lot of the kids were struggling with their emotions and their impulses, and most likely it's due because of the pandemic. But this CrossFit program has actually worked out very well for them. They work on their physical strength and also their mental. At first, when we first had our equipment, we had a couple of benches, and then it started growing. And so the past 3 years, it's grown. So you come in here, and all the kids, when they come in, they're like, "Wow, you know, it looks like a real gymnasium." You know, everything that we do here is for the benefit of these kids to succeed. Find a lot of joy in it because they actually are motivated to work on themselves. They come in here, and afterwards, you see them more motivated.
And welcome back here in Jordanton Sports Complex. I've got the Mustang fans there here in attendance. They're all excited. They're pumped for this game as we hit the top of the second inning.
Absolutely. They're here, Mark.
Yeah, Mustang fans here in abundance. Of course, they were also in San Antonio last night for Game 1. Support their team. They've been traveling with the team, of course, on as they've gone out of the valley throughout their playoff trek, and they're excited and ready here today. It is a little bit humid, but a nice day for baseball. Wind beginning to pick up a little bit, blowing leisurely toward left field, just like it does in the valley. This is north is straightaway center field, and the wind coming out of the southeast a little bit.
Let me introduce to the fans, especially from Rouse that don't know Coach Rocky Rock Cortines. He is actually played at McAllen Memorial, Texas Southmost, Texas A&M, Pro Ball in Mexico, including for the Monterrey Sultanes. He has previously coached at Roma and Rio Grande City, and he has done a tremendous job in changing the culture. Since we already talked about, Mark, they haven't been in the playoffs in 12 years. So he's changed the culture, and you can believe the Mustangs are now a very respected ball club in the Rio Grande Valley.
And a former Mustang himself, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Also want to give another person giving a shout out for the Mustang. Former Mustang himself is Mr. Jonathan Ball, so legal counsel for McAllen ISD.
And a
Class of 95, I believe.
And a former McAllen School Board member that did an awesome job.
Here's the pitch from Salazar. Batting first here is Eloy Lozano, the first baseman. He takes a ball down low. On deck is the right fielder, Jacob Sanchez, and he would be followed by the second baseman, Daniel Flores. Top of the second inning here of Game 2 of our best-of-3 series.
Good eye. That's an important thing for the McAllen Mustangs, not to be too anxious to make things happen. And those are good signs, Mark.
2-0 now on Lozano. An open stance, swung on. This goes foul to the right side. It'll be 2-1.
Here's some more Mustang fans. Belina Serna, Fernando Elizondo, Rachel Ordaz, Liana Peña, Eduardo de la Rosa. Man, there's a lot of people. Bus Castillo.
And this is swung on, hit toward third. Miller has it, throw over to first in time to retire Lozano. And so that's 4 Mustang batters, and all 4 have grounded out here so far as Jacob Sanchez will step up.
And that's a good sign for the Mustangs that they are putting the ball in play, something that you already alluded to. Last night they weren't able to do that, to put some pressure on the defense. See, they can make some mistakes. Everybody always talks about that the clinching game of any playoffs at any level in any sport is the most difficult one.
This is swung on. First pitch goes towards short. Solis has it. Goes over to first, and Gonzalez makes the catch, and 2 outs in the inning.
Hello to Myra Trigo Ramos, Nacho Garcia, Bus Edil, Sandra Peña. Roy A. Gonzalez says, what a broadcast crew. I think he's a homer. Because I think isn't his boy part of the crew?
Indeed he is.
Okay.
And Coach Roy Gonzalez, coached many years at McAllen. We appreciate support from the sister school. Daniel Flores now up to bat, takes a ball. I'm sorry, that was in there for a called strike, so it's 0-1. Lucas Cabrera, the catcher, on deck. And this is going to be high, and the count will be even at 1-1.
I did talk to Coach for the Rouse Rattlers, Coach Kremlin, prior to the game to give me a little scouting report on the pitcher. He says he's got great pitches, but sometimes he can be wild.
And the 1-1 is misses low. It'll be a ball, 2-1 now to Daniel Flores. Got the sun coming out now, peeking out from behind some of the gray clouds. And there's a called strike, and it'll be even at 2-2.
That was a corner pitch, Mark, and you could hear the pop all the way up here to the press box.
By the way, the dimensions here are 320 feet down the left field foul line and right field foul line. This is fouled back. Count will stay 2-2. It's 375 to straightaway center field, so it's a symmetrical field and slightly smaller than other ballparks.
And an added dimension to this nice ballpark, Mark, is that there's a lot of shade.
Yeah, they have a nice awning here over the grandstands. And this is swung on, hit towards second, a stop by the second baseman, and a throw inside retired. And so a nice defensive play there made by Heinrich to retire Flores. And the Mustangs go up, 3 down in the top of the second inning. So after 1.5 innings of play, no score here in Georgetown. We'll be back with the bottom of the second right after this.
The grant is called Solar Challenge, and what we wanted was to introduce the children to what is renewable resources, and solar being one of them and being the most abundant that we have. We wanted to introduce them to that, and also so that they're able to see how a circuit works. Some of them are battery operated, but the main thing is for them to know that solar, wind, geothermal, all those are renewable resources, and they can be used instead of fossil fuels. Right now, they're building the solar cars, the solar planes. They're building a fan with a circuit. They're also building a plane that has a solar panel. Oh, and they have a wind-operated car. So it has a propeller with the batteries, and the wind makes it move. So that's also a type of renewable resource. What we tried to do with this grant was make them aware of the options that are out there as opposed to fossil fuels, which take millions of years. We're never going to see them in our lifetime, nor will they. So they have to be able to know what alternatives do they have. And this is a good form of them having alternatives to that. And it also builds a little bit more of background knowledge so that in the future, they're able to converse about this topic with, whoever they come across.
And And welcome back. We're here at the Jordanton Sports Complex. Mark May with Mario Reyna, the rest of our MITV crew, bringing you this Class 5A Regional Championship Series. This is Game 2. Rouse leading 1-0. And the Mustangs playing defense here in the bottom of the second inning as the Raiders will send Miller, Sanchez, and Forcell, their center fielder, DH, and catcher, to the plate. First pitch from Villa, swung on, fouled back. You know, the Raiders have had a lot of success under their head coach, Chad Crimpin, haven't they, Mario?
They have, and he's actually taken 4 teams to the state tournament, including Leander Rouse. And just like Coach Cortines, he's real proud of his support that he has gotten by the Rouse fan base. And he also noted that the kids from the Rio Grande Valley are very respectful kids.
It was the 0-1 pitch, swung on, fouled off, and that'll be 0-2 now on Miller.
And like you said, Mark, the Raiders, they have been in the regional finals this game in 3 out of the last 4 years, having gone to the UIL state championships in 2021.
Trying to get back there after a 2-year absence. That pitch missed outside to be 1-2 on Miller.
And so far, Villa has done an excellent job of attacking the hitters, making them swing. No freebies this afternoon.
Miller pretty well last night as he lets that one go outside. Only even the count at 2-2. Last night batted 2 for 3 with an RBI, a walk, and 2 runs scored.
Yeah, he had a real nice evening, very productive.
So a 2-2. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. No score, swing and a miss, and he strikes out. And it's the second strikeout now for Villa.
Mark, so far, Villa, he has it going. That slider, it has a sharp break on it, and he's just doing a great job with it and keeping it around the strike zone and making the hitters go after it.
That'll bring up Andrew Sanchez, the designated hitter. He's batting for the left fielder. First pitch is a ball.
He had a great night last night, didn't he, Mark?
Yeah, just looking at that, yeah, very good. 3 for 4 with 3 RBI and a run scored. That was the most hits of any player for the Raiders last night in that Game 1 victory.
He is the designated hitter and very difficult to strike out. Yeah.
1-0 pitch. That's a called strike.
That was a beautiful pitch, Mark. I was calling strikes from up here.
1-1 with 1 out. And swung on, fouled back. It'll be 1-2 now on Sanchez.
The other thing about that pitch that's working very well for Villa is keeping it down. And that's important. I mean, how many hitters that he's already faced, and he's been ahead of them with strikes.
Yeah, Villa has had a terrific start here. 1-2 pitch. This is swung on, hit towards center field, and gets through for a base hit. We have our first base runner of the game, and it's Andrew Sanchez, safe at first.
And Sanchez continues to stay hot.
Yeah, that would make him 4 for 5 now in this playoff series. And this will bring up the catcher, Xander Forcell, who was 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored last night. Nathan Miller, the third baseman, on deck. First pitch to Forcell is a called strike.
Some more shout-outs to Mustang fans. As that Araceli Rodriguez, Maritza Salinas Ramirez, Rene Barrera, Lily Sandoval Silva, Teresa Tredla.
It's one of our elementary principals. This is a hit, popped up behind second base. The second baseman drifting under it. Flores has it for out number 2. And that'll keep Sanchez pinned at first base.
And Villa continues to do an excellent job of attacking the strike zone, and he's being rewarded with some outs.
I'll bring up the third baseman, Nathan Miller. Miller last night 0 for 3, but he did have an RBI. Miller batting 7th in the order.
You know, this McAllen Mustang team is so popular that we have Jed Bassett, go Mustangs, all the way from London, Tennessee. How about that?
And this is swung on toward first. Lozano dives forward, can't get it. It's a fair ball. Runner coming around second. And meanwhile, the batter, Miller, heading into second base with a stand-up double. And the Raiders have runners on second and third with 2 out in the second.
And Mark, actually, that was a good pitch by Villa. The batter swung kind of late, and it landed in fair territory. It was very close, and that's baseball, Mark. Sometimes you swing, put the ball in play, and you put it right where it needs to be.
Yeah, Lozano made a valiant dive for that. It was just inside him, close to the first base line. Unable to make the stop, and it ended up as a double there for Miller.
And here's a big key to this game already with runners on second and third. But Villa's pitching pretty good, Mark. He just needs to get out of the jam.
Does have 2 out in the inning. But there's no force in play here. Mason Gonzalez, the first baseman, is at the plate. This one come inside for a ball.
And that was close. It could have gone either way. I don't think Mason Gonzalez batted yesterday.
And this is a strike on the outside. It's going to be 1-1 now.
Lucas Cabrera did a good job on that one of framing the ball and making sure that his glove doesn't move out of the strike zone.
1-1 with 2 out and 2 on. And this is a strike on the inside. 1-2 now on Gonzalez.
Mark, and of all the pitchers we've seen, Manuel Villa, he seems so under control and calm when he pitches.
One-two pitch inside. It'll be 2-2 now on Gonzalez. Put a good eye on that one.
That was a close pitch. I don't know if you noticed the first and second basemen for the Mustangs were trying to leave the field like, okay, Blue, you're going to give us that one. But it did not. His right hand did not come up.
2-2 on the batter with 2 out and 2 on in the second inning.
Hello to Ronnie Martinez, Monica Moreno Mata, all these Mustang fans, Elizabeth Diaz, Kevin Martinez, Diana Torres Garcia. Beautiful pitch right there. Oh.
Wow. Just missed. And we've got a full count.
That's too early here in the second inning to know the umpire is going to give that one, but that could have been a high strike.
Yeah, it seemed a little closer than the previous pitch, which was also inside. Here's the payoff, and it's a walk. Bases are loaded. First walk issued by Villa, and the Raiders have the bases loaded here in the bottom of the second inning with 2 outs.
And that was another pitch that could have gone either way. So what Manuel Villa has to do is just remain calm. He's pitching an excellent job so far. He's barely missing. You just got to get ahead of this hitter.
Now has a force out at any base. Jacob Solis, the shortstop, up to bat. And takes a strike on the outside.
Jacob did go 1 for 4 yesterday, scored a run, but he also struck out.
Wind picking up a little bit now, blowing toward left field. There's the 0-1 to Solis. Looks at that one, and it's a ball. It would be 1-1.
Good job by Lucas Cabrera to ensure that the ball didn't get past him.
Now, if Solis should reach, they would kick over to the top of the order with Heinrich right now on deck.
He has to go after the ninth batter. There you go.
Swing and a miss. Fastball. Solis now in a 1-2 hole.
So now that Villa knows he blew up that fastball by him, he might be thinking like, if he couldn't get around my fastball, I'm just going to blow another one by him. But that slider has been working really nice too.
Yeah, Villa seems to be really on. Here's 1-2 with 2 outs. Swung on, hit towards shortstop. Picked up by Rivera. Throw to third in time to retire the side. They had that force out at any base and took advantage at third base. And so the Raiders, despite 2 hits, get no runs in the bottom of the second inning. We're still tied with no score as we head to the third inning. We'll be right back.
I just wanna
At McAllen ISD, every voice matters, a community dedicated to shaping the future of every student with a legacy of success and accomplishments. Join McAllen ISD, where every student is a story waiting to be told. And welcome back here at Jordanton Sports Complex. See the Mustang fans in abundance here, high spirits, and they're excited. Mustangs get out of a jam. A great job by Villa to maintain his composure in that last inning, wasn't it, Mario?
He wasn't missing by much. He needed to throw a strike, and he did. And what a smart play by Chevete. Jose Rivera, he was going towards the third baseman, and he made the easy play. There's no way he could have gotten an out if he would have gone to second or third. So good defense by Rivera.
And here's the first pitch at the top of the third to the catcher, Lucas Cabrera. Cabrera last night batting 0 for 2. And this is swung on, hit toward short. Solis has it firmly. Throw to first in time to retire Cabrera. And there's 1 out here in the Mustang third.
And the Mustangs continue to put the ball in play. And hopefully for them, it will pay off later. Some of them might be going through for hits. You have to, going back to stats, Salazar comes in with 103 strikeouts with an earned run average of 1.13.
And here's the DH, Gael Aguirre takes a strike on the inside. Aguirre 0 for 2 last night. And that's a called strike inside. Well-placed pitch there by Salazar.
And that's what makes pitchers, Mark. You can have the stuff, but you can't put it right down the plate. Those are inside corners.
The 0-2 to Aguirre, swung on. Hit toward second base, picked up, throw over to first is going to be wild. And Aguirre is safe at first base with a single. No chance for him to take second, but the Mustangs have their first base runner.
I would give him a single for that, but I'm not the official scorer because the second baseman had to make a tremendous play to get him out. So good job, even though Gael Aguirre was down with 2 strikes, he put the ball in play.
That brings up the last man in the order, the left fielder, Itziel Gonzalez. First pitch, a strike. He's got Aguirre safe at first. 2 outs here in the inning.
And in this inning, Oscar Salazar is not messing around, Mark. He's coming with his fastball.
Actually, it says 2 outs at the moment, but I think it's just 1 out. And there's another strike on Gonzalez. Now at an 0-2 hole.
And even though that was a ball, Mark, when he attempted to bunt, he didn't take the bat out of the way, so the umpire called a strike on an attempted bunt.
So 0-2, swing on and missed, and Gonzalez is the second out of the inning.
Boy, it looked like since the Mustangs finally got a base runner, it looked like Salazar just reached back a little bit more, and his fastball looked a lot better in the last two pitches.
Now we're back to the top of the order are the Mustangs, and Kane Coy, the center fielder, grounded out in the first inning and takes the ball on the outside.
Now, it's going to be hard to run on this catcher, Alexander Orcel. He does have a good arm.
1-0 to Coy, swung on, hit. Third baseman has it on the high hop, long throw, and that retires the side. And the Mustangs get their first hit of the game, but still no score. Through 2.5 innings of play, we've got the Raiders coming up to bat in the bottom half of the third in just a moment.
Last year we received a grant to do. We decided to add to that, and the kids are always gardening and learning about plants, so we're always out here. So we wanted to do a hand washing station so you can wash your hands there and wash the vegetables that the kids get, that they're growing out there in the garden. A huge thank you to MEF. They have been an amazing support, helping this idea and dream come true so we can see them learning about everything outside. Because, you know, it's one thing to teach it in the classroom with pictures, but it's another thing to get your hands dirty and plant and see all these animals and do it yourself and learn how to use tools and everything to do it all. So thank you very much.
And good afternoon to you. Mark May here with Mario Reyna, bringing you live stream coverage. Mustangs baseball. No score yet as we hit the bottom of the third inning, a 7-inning game. If the Mustangs win, it'll force a game 3, about 30 minutes after game 2 ends.
And Kevin Martinez was a special shout out to the MITV crew. We don't have too many Rouse fans, I believe, because they're also covering their game. But most of the shout-outs I'm giving are Mustangs. Yana Torres Garcia, Emma Pagan Valleverda, Jeanette Mata, Grace Garza, Marshall Freeman Miller, Jackie Martinez. Hey, how about Ronnie Luna?
Oh, yeah, Ronnie Luna. He longtime baseball coach for the Nicky Rowe Warriors. Took them to great success. Also coached at Memorial early in his career. So it was an assistant. He was the JV football coach, head football coach in the early 80s at Memorial. Also played running back for Mac High, so he has nice connections at all 3 of the schools.
Excellent athlete. Raul Moreno, big-time supporter of Mustang baseball. Roel Garcia, I believe he's the new Mustang head coach for the Lady Mustangs coming up next year. Yvette Correa Gonzalez, Mark Mendoza.
Raiders, meanwhile, as they start the bottom of the third, will have the top of the order coming up with Heinrich, who grounded out in the first inning, followed by Espinosa and then Salazar.
Oh.
Called strike there. Nice fastball inside of Heinrich.
Did you see what the batter did on that one, Mark? He kind of he kind of went back. Didn't know. He thought the ball was going to hit him, and then it broke in for a strike.
0-1 pitch, swung on and fouled into the back of the fence, and it's 0-2 now on Heinrich.
And that's something that happens, Mark, when your pitcher's throwing strikes, then the batters are coming to the plate knowing that this pitcher's throwing strikes, so they're going to be swinging. And again, Villa is ahead in the count with 2 strikes.
We got the sun out right now. It's chased away the raindrops that were here early on, right before they started. That misses for a ball. It'll be 1-2 now. So it is humid out there. The wind picking up, blowing from right to left across your screen. The 1-2. Swung on, hit toward third base. Actually, shortstop has it. Long throw, won't be in time. And Heinrich is aboard with a single. That was hit into the hole between short and third.
That's what you call a lucky seeing eye infield hit. There was pretty much nothing Jose Rivera could do with that. So yesterday when he had an opportunity, Coach Kremlin, he did play small ball. He did bunt the batter over, and we'll see how he plays it.
Espinosa, the right fielder, looks like he's going up to bunt, pulls back. And the pitch was a strike. Yeah, might be trying to bunt Heinrich over. Usually your leadoff batters have a lot of speed, so leadoff batter aboard here in the third inning for the Raiders. It's outside for a ball, be 1-1 on Espinosa.
And when you're bunting, Mark, that's respect for the pitcher. You're trying to create a situation to score.
Raiders were able to load the bases in the second inning, but weren't able to bring anybody across as Heinrich now going, and they're going to let him have the stolen base. Cabrera elects not to challenge it as Heinrich had a tremendous jump.
Yeah, if Villa would have known, he would have stepped off. He would have had Heinrich at second. So now, more than likely, the batter will have the opportunity to hit away.
So it's 1-1 now to Espinosa. Espinosa struck out in the first inning.
He's going to bunt.
Missed. Oh, they're throwing towards second. And Heinrich able to dive back in time. Trying to catch Heinrich unawares there. A long throw by Cabrera to try to catch him there at second base.
Good throw by Cabrera, and that will send a message to Heinrich that you better not come off too much off the bag because we will get you.
So it's 1-2 now to Espinosa.
With 2 strikes, he's probably not going to bunt.
And he hits this one towards center field. Coy running toward it, has to dive for it, makes the catch. Quick throw over towards second, but Heinrich is back in time. But the batter, Espinosa, is retired.
And that's a star right there on the defense by King Coy. And that's how the Mustangs need to play the entire game.
Yeah, playing some aggressive heads-up baseball.
And more importantly, I'm surprised that Heinrich did not go back to tag up. More than likely, he would have made it to third because King Coy, after the catch, he ended up on the ground.
Here's Salazar, the pitcher. Grounded out in the first inning. Looks at a strike called on the outside corner. And maybe Heinrich thought that the ball was going to land, that Coy wasn't going to get there in time.
I think so. Now, Salazar, the reason he's an all-stater, not only because of his pitching, but he is batting .400, and they're not DHing for him. There he goes.
Runner goes toward third. Here's the throw, but Heinrich is there again. A great jump by him, and he's got his second stolen base of the inning. So with aggressive base running, the Raiders are able to put a runner in scoring position just 90 feet away from home plate. Meanwhile, Salazar with a 1-1 count. Only one out in the inning so far, so sacrifice is in play now.
And Coach Cortinas is going to play the infield in. He's going to try to prevent that runner from third from scoring.
Wind really picking up now, blowing toward left, fouled back. And it'll be 1-2 to the pitcher, Salazar.
That was an excellent pitch by Manuel Villa on the inside. Did not allow Salazar to extend his arms.
This has the makings of a low-scoring game. Both pitchers pitching really well. And the Mustangs with that infield in, looking to prevent a run here. Only one out here in the bottom of the third. No score. This is swung on, hit into the gap at left center. It's going to bounce for a base hit. Heinrich has scored. Raiders up 1-0. Here's the throw towards second, but the pitcher Salazar is in there safe with an RBI double.
And Salazar helping his own cause as a pitcher. As he came up, he really got around on that fastball and put it in the gap.
Yes, Salazar now 1 for 2. And gets the RBI, scoring Heinrich from third base. And Heinrich setting up those heroics with the 2 stolen bases.
And it all started with a seeing eye single in the infield. While the Mustangs are hitting ground balls straight to the infielders, this one was a lucky hit.
Landon Miller swings at the first pitch. The third baseman has it. Now they've got the Salazar in a rundown. They tag him out. No one covering second base, though, as the batter Miller able to go for all the way towards second base, and he'll be safe there. But there are 2 away in the inning.
Good job by Presa by getting the lead runner, but because the Mustangs were not able to get somebody at second, the base runner was able to get to second, so they just traded places. But more importantly, the Mustangs got another out. So you're looking at 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. You gotta like how the Mustangs are playing. They're competing the way they usually compete.
And I believe if we are scoring Miller, the batter, he would get an at-bat for a fielder's choice.
Correct.
And then took second on the throw. Salazar was caught in the rundown between second and third. 2 outs in the inning. Here's a ball gets away from the catcher, and it's going to allow Miller to advance and take third base.
It looked like maybe they crossed each other up. It looked like Lucas was expecting a different pitch. But that runner on third is big. The Mustangs can get out of it by only allowing 1 run, and they keep the game close.
Andrew Sanchez, the DH, is the batter. He took a ball. That was the pass ball we saw just a moment ago. And swings on this pitch. This is hit high toward the left. The third baseman drifting under it and makes the catch. That's Presa making the catch.
It was actually, I think, the shortstop.
Oh, the shortstop, you're right. Jose Rivera coming over to make the catch to retire the side, but the Raiders do get 1 run across. So after 3 innings of play, Raiders 1, Mustangs nothing. We'll be back with the 4th right after this.
This is the showcase of our MITV grant, and it's called Fun and Coloring Vocabulary, which entitles our students to develop English vocabulary. And we try to find out a way for them to express the comprehension. And the easy way that we found for them was through painting. So each student developed and learned a vocabulary word, and then they express what they understood by it through the paint.
McAllen Education Foundation works with the teachers and the administration of McAllen ISD to provide support to our teachers, to have creative outlets and constructive outlets for our students, to have opportunities to demonstrate their talents in art and to help enrich their education with funds that are drawn from the community, from local businesses, from private individuals to help support our students.
And welcome back. We're here at the Jordanton Sports Complex, Jordanton High School, a 3A school here south of San Antonio. We're about 210 miles north of McAllen. For Leander, it was about a 160-mile trip. They're located in the north of Austin. Leander, a big school district, big community. They have 6 high schools there. And Leander Rouse, a relatively new school, less than 20 years old, started in 2008 and had never made the playoffs before until Chad Crimpen became their head coach back in 2017, and now they haven't missed the playoffs since.
That tells you how important a coach is, Mark. And let's give credit again to Jose Rivera, making a good, not an easy catch, but it was able to get that ball for the third out and prevent more runs from coming in. So going here into the top of the 4th, down 1-0, especially after what happened last night, it's a good thing. I mean, you don't want to be down, Mark, but just the game is close. So you know what has happened in the past with the McAllen Memorial Mustangs. They can win close games.
Yeah, they certainly believe in themselves, have that confidence. Jose Rivera, you just spoke of, is the man at the plate right now. Took a strike, now lets a ball go on the outside. It'll be 1-1.
And Rivera is the one hitter that you want to start a rally with. He's done it all year. He's a good hitter.
Swung on. This is fouled off. It'll be 1-2 to Rivera. Yeah, he's had some big hits and some timely hits, hasn't he?
Yes, and Coach Cortines calls him the MVP on offense because he's made things happen with a key home run or a big double, bringing in a lot of RBI. So let's see if he can get on base.
Oh. And swung on and missed, and Rivera goes down swinging. That'll be the second strikeout for Salazar.
And give credit to Salazar, as we've been talking about Villa, that when you're ahead in the count, it's pretty much your advantage. I mean, the big difference in batting average when you are batting with 2 strikes, it's down there under 200. But when you're up 3 balls and 1 strike, you're probably above 300. So the key is the 2 strikes.
And here's Emilio Presa, swings on the first pitch, hits it towards shortstop, and throw is in time, and Presa is retired for the second time today. And there'll be 2 outs here in the Mustang fourth.
That's a difference in the game, Mark. The Mustangs are putting the ball in play, but it's going straight to the infielders. While if you remember how the Raiders scored, it was a ball in between the shortstop and the third baseman. And he got on base and eventually stole 2 bases and scored.
Only about 4 pitches in the inning so far for Salazar. A very efficient inning as the first pitch is a strike on the first baseman, Eloy Lozano. Lozano grounding out in the second inning. Swings at this one, hit toward first, picked up by Gonzalez. He'll step on the bag, and that retires the side. Mustangs go 3 up, 3 down here in the fourth inning. We'll take a break, be back with the Raider fourth right after this.
McAllen ISD's world-class pre-kinder program is now open to all 4-year-old children, and it's free. Just register through the Skyward system. Don't have an account? No problem. Contact one of our elementary campuses or the Student Outreach Department at 956-687-MISD. Give your child a solid start to their educational journey. Register for free pre-K today.
We are about learning.
We are about safe environments.
We are about going the extra mile.
We're about exploring our horizons.
We are about opportunities for all.
We are about excellence.
And welcome back. We're here in Georgetown Sports Complex, the Georgetown baseball field. And our score 1-0 Raiders, who are able to get their first run across in the third inning. Now here in the fourth inning, they'll be bringing up number 6, 7, and 8 hitters in their order. It will be Forcell, the catcher, Miller, the third baseman, and Gonzalez, the first baseman.
And Mark, here's some scores of interest for Rio Grande Valley fans, especially softball fans. The Harlingen South Lady Hawks lost in the state championship today to Melissa, 8-0. And right now in the 6th inning, the West Laco Lady Panthers are down 6-3 against Waco Midway. But what an accomplishment for both of those programs to make it to the state finals. Congratulations to both teams.
Yes, indeed. And I have always loved how the Valley kind of rallies around all of the whatever teams in whatever sport they're able to get out of the Valley in the playoffs. They all kind of take a regional attitude and support those other teams. And I know a lot of people from outside McAllen are supporting Memorial as well. It's the first pitch here in the bottom of the fourth inning to Forcell. It's a breaking ball. Caught the outside. It's 0-1.
Forcell didn't like that pitch, Mark. And usually, when you're a catcher, you usually know the strike zone, so he didn't like that pitch.
Forcell popped up to second back in the second inning. This is inside. Looked like he was trying to get that to break, and it never did. It was 1-1.
He didn't have the sharp break that he had earlier. Erica Garcia, Ari Barton, Vianney Gonzalez, all these Memorial Mustang fans, Jennifer Flores. Nice pitch.
Oh, yeah. The breaking ball, and it's a strike. 1-2 now on Forcell.
Ali Arredondo, Annette Torres Villalobos, Tanya Analile Ortega.
There's the 1-2 from Villa. Swung on, hit right between the wicket for Villa, and it's going to be a base hit towards center field, and the lead batter is aboard here in the fourth.
There's another one right there where it just went right under the glove for Villa. He could have come up with that. He would have had an out. But you know how it goes, Mark. Whenever you get that first base runner at first with no outs, on many occasions they come to score. So we'll see how Coach Kremen plays it. Will he bunt him over or will he steal? They've had success running because Villa is more focused on throwing strikes and not worried about the runner at first.
By the way, we have a courtesy runner there at first base. Meanwhile, it's a strike called on Nathan Miller. Miller, who hit a double back in the second inning and was eventually caught in a rundown. Throw over to first base.
Good job by Villa trying to keep that runner close. Even though they didn't get an out, you know that the runner has to be thinking about being careful.
Courtesy runner is number 6, Gavin Silva, who pitched last night. Being used as a courtesy runner here. This is inside to be 1-1 now on Miller. Forcell at first base. Or excuse me, Forcell with the single and the courtesy runner there, Silva. Runner going. And Cabrera unable to throw as he mishandled the ball. Tried to get a hold of it to make the throw. And the courtesy runner Silva has a stolen base.
Because Miller does put the ball in play. We'll see if Coach wants to get his runner at second to third on a bunt, and he does.
And this is a nice bunt down the third baseline. It won't go foul, and the runners will be safe. And now there's runners on the corners with nobody out here in the Raider fourth inning. We called that one, Mario. And this is all thanks to aggressive base running by the Raiders. They've got 3 stolen bases now in this game.
And here's the thing, Mark. That's how you manufacture runs, and that's how, it goes back to that grounder that went through Villa. He almost had it. He didn't. The runner got to first, and now a bunt, a perfect bunt. You have runners on first and third. What Villa has to do is just a little composure and try to keep it from becoming too big of an inning. If he can get out of this jam with no runs, it would be an amazing job.
Yeah, nobody out, runners on the corners. After Miller's successful bunt moved Silva over to third. And now here's the ball, wild pitch, gets away from Cabrera. Runner comes in and scores. The Raiders take a 2-0 lead. And Miller, meanwhile, trots over to second base. 2-0 Raiders here in the fourth inning, still nobody out.
More shout out to Mustang fans on Facebook. Natasha Guerrero, Romeo de Luna, Tanya Castillo Mose. Let's go 956. I think she's the wife of one of the baseball coaches somewhere in the Rio Grande Valley. Jessica Herrera.
And squared up to bunt, but this goes foul. It's first baseman Mason Gonzalez. Gonzalez, who walked in the second inning.
And since he's at the lower of the batting order, there's no doubt they're going to have another sacrifice to get a runner at third with only 1 out to see if they can go up on the scoreboard 3-0.
Runner at second base, again scoring up to bunt, popped up in the air in a foul territory. No chance for a catcher to make the play. It'll be 1-2 near on Mason Gonzalez. Jacob Solis, the shortstop, is on deck. So Gavin Silva, the courtesy runner for Forsell, has scored to make it 2-0 here for the Raiders. Nathan Miller, who bunted safely to get aboard, now at second base following a wild pitch a moment ago.
Now, more than likely, because this batter has 2 strikes, he's probably going to swing away. If he does bunt, that means he has a lot of confidence in himself to have a sacrifice bunt.
1-2, nobody out for the Raiders. Swung on, popped up into foul territory, and the left side won't be playable as it hit the top of the Raider dugout. It'll be 1-2.
Lorena Castillo Saldaña, Chris Artis, all supporting the Mustangs. Laura Rodriguez, Patricia Lerma, Sarah Gutierrez.
Raiders with 2 runs on 6 hits. Mustangs have no runs on 1 hit so far. Swung on, fouled off. They'll stay 1-2 on Gonzalez.
And the inning hasn't gone Manuel Villa's way, but gotta give him credit. He's trying. He's still throwing strikes, trying to hold the Raiders down to a 2-0 lead, if possible.
1-2. Swung on, hit way up in the air toward right field. Sanchez running underneath that one and makes the catch for the first out. And Miller has to trot back to second base. One out in the inning.
And that's a good thing. An out and no advancement by a runner is a good thing. And it's also good for Manuel Villa that he got a big out. Mustangs are, it's only 2-0, and we know that at any given moment they can break loose.
Yeah, the Raiders had a couple of big innings they were able to manufacture in the Game 1 victory. They had 5 runs in the third, added 4 runs in the fifth, in an eventual 10-1 victory in Game 1. Mustangs have to win Game 2 here to force a tie-breaking Game 3. Here's Solis. Takes the first pitch for a ball.
And that fastball had a good pop in it. We could hear it into the catcher's mitt all the way up here to the press box. So Villa definitely still has his good arm going.
Solis reached on a fielder's choice back in the second inning. Swung on and missed. It'll be 1-1 now.
Hello to Crystal Higgins Segovia, Eunice Santos, Mark Mendoza, Ray Sosa, the legend.
1-1 now on Solis. Heinrich at the top of the order is in the on-deck circle.
Good stop.
Yes, Cabrera had to hustle to keep that one in front of him, which kept Miller pinned at second base.
The only difference right now here in the 4th inning for Villa that the breaking ball he was using effectively early he's not hitting the strike zone as consistent as he was in the first 3 innings.
The 2-1 to Solis. Swung on, hit toward third baseman. Miller has to go back to second. Throw over to first. They have to tag the runner out. And then Miller able to advance to third on the throw. So runner on third, 2 outs here in the Raider 4th as they bring up their leadoff hitter, Heinrich, up to the plate.
Good job by Eloy Lozano at first to ensure that he got at least that second out. So Coach Cortinas is going to come out and talk to his pitcher. It's 2-0. Try to keep it there at 2-0. Alejandra Grand Molina, go Mustangs. Christy Sanchez, Moreno Jose Rivera. Luis Trevino Valdez.
Mustangs 26 wins and 15 losses this year. Leander came in 34-19 with a tie.
I mean, this year for the Mustangs has been, somebody can write a book on them of what they did and the attitude they've had all year and believing in themselves when nobody else did.
Indeed, it's gotten them this far. That why not us mentality. And you know, as you explained, Mario, it just kind of takes the pressure off. It's the way the players and coaches feel about it is they've already gone much further than anyone expected.
Well, this game is also another indication, Mark. Yesterday they got blown out 10-1, and they're competing. This is a very good team. You know, even though they came in ranked 8th in state, it's a good team that has a lot of seniors on the team, a lot of experience. They've been there, and the Mustangs are a very young team.
Yeah, Rouse, by the way, ranked 4th in Class 5A teams, the state of Texas. 1-0 pitch here to Heinrich is inside, and Cabrera doing a good job to keep that one from going past him.
You know, when you know you're a good leadoff hitter like Heinrich, he doesn't, I mean, the ball's close on the inside, and he doesn't even, his body stays there. He's willing to take a hit for the team.
Heinrich 1-2, scored a run back in the 3rd inning. This looks at this one, a called strike on the outside. It's 2-1. Espinosa, the right fielder, on deck. Miller is third base with 2 outs here in the 4th inning. It's the 2-1. Swung on, hit sharply, but foul along the third base side.
That was a curveball inside. You know, he was ahead of the ball.
He hit that one solidly, didn't he?
He sure did. So I wouldn't throw that pitch again. Laura Macias. Jackie Renee. She says, "Hi, Coach Reina. You were my coach at Zavala Elementary in McAllen."
So 2-2 on the batter, Heinrich, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And a runner on third base.
Nice pitch.
Oh, Heinrich looks at that one. He kind of flinched like he wanted to swing for it, decided not to at the last moment, and it's ball 3.
And all the infielders and outfielders basically were on the way to the dugout. Sometimes as an umpire, you can be fooled too, Mark.
So it's a full count with 2 outs. It's the payoff pitch, and he's going to swing at that one, fouled it off toward the backstop.
Louis Serna. Hello, Louis. Jessica Ann Zarate. Got a lot of people on Facebook very interested in how the McAllen Mustangs are doing.
First time in the history of the program they played baseball in June. This is swung on, hit toward right field. Right fielder Sanchez moves under it and makes the catch to retire the side. The Raiders able to get 1 run across, but the Mustangs able to prevent the big inning. So after 4 innings of play, it's the Raiders 2, the Mustangs nothing. We'll be back with the 5th right after this.
My grant was to purchase items for my dramatic play center. I feel that children don't play enough anymore. They are really quick to use electronic devices and they have forgotten how to play. This area has changed throughout the year. It started with a home, since that's their most familiar area, and it has evolved. And with every single thing that we do, it comes with different vocabulary, a different set of social skills, a different set of etiquette. I am so very, very thankful and grateful to MEF. I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for providing this to our teachers. These materials are very expensive, and because we're giving these grants, we're able to provide these experiences for our children.
All right, welcome back. Mark May with Mario Reyna here through 4 innings of play. The Mustangs, no runs, 1 hit and no errors. And the Raiders, 2 runs on 6 hits and no errors. Manuel Villa, the Mustang pitchers, pitched through 4 innings so far, struck out 2, walked 1, allowed 6 hits, and 2 runs are both earned. Meanwhile, Oscar Salazar, the starter for the Raiders, through 4 innings, has allowed 1 hit, struck out 2. The Mustangs are at the number 5 spot in their order. Jacob Sanchez caught that fly ball to end the last inning. First man up to bat here for the Mustangs in the 5th.
So the Mustangs have done it all year. And let's see, they have some more special magic.
And by the way, Salazar had a brilliant 4th inning, only 10 pitches in that inning to retire all 3 outs. And here he's 1-1 now on Sanchez. Fastball misses, 2-1. Sanchez, by the way, grounded out to shortstop back in the 2nd inning.
And you know, Coach Rock Cortines, he has to be okay with his offense. I mean, they are putting the ball in play, but everything is going straight to an infielder.
This is swung on, hit toward third base. Miller has it. Long throw, a bouncer gets by the first baseman.
Just to get back to the base, Mark.
And he'll be safe at first base.
That may be the break they need, the Mustangs. And the reason I said he had to get back to the base, Mark, is because once he got on base, he made an attempt to go to second. And because he made an attempt to go to second, now, if he doesn't get back on the base, he's not protected, and they touch him, he would have been out. I would give him a single on that, Mark, because I don't think the fielder, or did they give him an error?
Yeah, they ruled it an error.
I don't think even if the ball would have gotten there, he would have been out. But, hey, I'm not the official scorekeeper.
So it's an E5 here on the Raiders. And the Mustangs have their leadoff batter aboard here in the 5th inning. Next batter is Daniel Flores, the second baseman, who's 0 for 1.
That was a good swing, Mark.
Yeah, swung on, fouled back, and it'll be 0-2 now on Flores.
The Mark, when you're down 2-0, it also cuts back on your running game. You cannot afford to run because that base runner is precious. You don't want him to be thrown out at second. And because of the reputation of the catcher, Alexander Forcell, it's too dangerous.
Here's the 0-2 to Flores. Oh, and a called strike, and Flores is out on strikes, becomes the first out of the inning.
And I think that's the first time that Salazar threw that pitch right there where it was, and it surprised Flores.
That's the 3rd strikeout for Salazar. There's 1 away here in the Mustang 5th. Sanchez taking a lead now. The runner going. Here's the throw over towards second. Well in time. And he is out. The second out of the inning. Great throw there by Forcell.
And that's something I was talking about, Mark, that he's got a great reputation. And he showed his arm right there. Kathy Solorio says hello. Michael Gonzalez, go Mustangs. Cecilia Esparza Salazar. Aurora Villarreal, go Mustangs.
So nobody on the base paths right now for the Mustangs. And 2 out in the inning. 1-1 the count here to the catcher, Lucas Cabrera.
You can't fault Coach Cortinas to try to get a runner at second. I mean, if you can score a run, it would change the momentum here.
And here's a ball hit, fly ball toward right field. It's going to be caught by Espinosa, and that retires the side. So the Mustangs get a base runner, but unable to advance him into scoring position. And the score after 4.5 innings of play is 2-0 in favor of the Raiders. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
My MEF grant included a glow-in-the-dark kind of theme, a setting that was cool, relaxing for students to come in and enjoy and just experience the art at a different level. We enjoyed our time together and learning about different artists, different times, and different ways to create art.
It's just so bright to paint with like people instead of painting alone. It feels like a little bit lonely when you're painting alone, but more happiness and joyfulness with your painting with other people.
What I have here in my hand is a piece of artwork done by one of our students here at Escandon. It's called The Scream by Monk. It's really exciting to really see how the effort of McAllen Education Foundation is materialized in this program that we're here looking at today.
The MEF grant was written, the Great Arts Show, and it was written with students in mind to help foster the love of art and to help educate them on artists of the past and different types and ways to paint.
And welcome back, and we've got a new pitcher warming up out there for the Mustangs, Mario.
Yeah, that's Hugo Rodriguez, an outstanding sophomore that has given the Mustangs a lot of outstanding innings throughout the playoffs. He'd been hurt most of the season, but came back at the right time. And he's the one that threw a great game against the Mackay Bulldogs to win game number 3. We also call him, you remember his nickname, Mark?
Oh, yeah, the Juice.
The Juice is in the house.
Juice is out there, and his mother, Miss Carla Rodriguez, one of the principals of one of the McAllen ISD elementary schools, Escandon. So we know she's enjoying this game, or glad to see her son get to pitch. 2-0 our score. Raiders in front. The Raiders have out hit the Mustangs 6-1 so far.
Shout-outs going out to John Ball. What an appropriate name for baseball, but I don't know. I don't want to be a ball, because ball form, but John Ball. Gina wants to shout out to Ethan and Ma.
And here's the first pitch for Rodriguez outside for a ball. And coming up to bat here in the 5th inning, Tyler Espinoza is the second hitter in the order. So it'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Espinoza is 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a flyout. Takes strike 1 on the outside. It'll be 1-1 now to him. Oscar Salazar, the pitcher, is on deck. He'll be followed by Landon Miller, the center fielder.
Nice pitch. Well, not given to him. Shout-outs to Jarrett Higdon, who umpired the last series. And he's the one that had problems finishing the game because of exhaustion. Did a great job throughout the game.
So 2-1 now to Espinoza, and this is high for ball 3.
Nice pop right here. We could hear it all the way up here on that fastball. And that's something that Rodriguez struggled against Tybee, getting strikes.
There's the 3-1. And that's going to be a called strike. It'll be a full count now on Espinoza.
And that tells you right there, Mark, how he does have the stuff. There's no doubt about it.
Give you Manuel Villa's numbers in a moment. Here's the payoff to Espinoza. Swung on, hit toward the gap in right center. It's going to bounce in for base hit. Runner around first. The ball rolling all the way to the wall. Now rounding second, headed for third. Here comes the throw. And diving in there with a triple is Tyler Espinoza. And the leadoff batter is on third base here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
And sometimes you just got to give credit. Rodriguez did what he had to. Don't walk him. Make him earn it. Throw a strike. And Espinoza made him pay for it.
So that'll bring up the pitcher, Oscar Salazar, who's 1 for 2 today, had a double back in the 3rd inning after grounding out in the 1st. You
Sorry,
mentioned
Mark.
he has an extremely good batting average, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's a good all-around athlete. He'll be playing at the next level for sure.
So 1-0. Swung on, fouled back. It'll be 1-1.
Mark, I wanted to go back to when the Mustangs came this way, how the whole community came out. And it was a great, and you know, I saw the McAllen ISD police officers who were, they came up all the way over here to escort the team. So, job done by who's our police?
Yeah, we appreciate Chief Joey Silva, our chief of police for McAllen ISD. Giving the Mustangs a well-earned send-off up here. The 2-1 pitch, a hit sharply toward short, unable to make the play. It'll bounce into center field. A run comes in, and it's going to be 3-0 here for the Raiders.
Rivera was so close to getting that one, Mark. And that's why they say baseball is a game of inches.
Waiting to see how they scored that one. That was hit right to him, but a really hard hit ball. And it looks like they're going to count that as a hit.
I think they job well done right there by the official scorer.
So that's an RBI single there for the pitcher. Salazar is now safe at first with no outs here in the fifth. 3-0 lead here for the Raiders.
Salazar doing it all now, Mark. Pitching, and he's got 2 hits already. How many RBIs?
Yes, 2 RBI. 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. So, yeah, an excellent job at the both at the mound and the plate for him. Meanwhile, Espinoza scored that last run coming in from third base after he hit that triple to lead off the inning. And now up is Landon Miller, the center fielder. Took a strike. Here's the 0-1. Of a check swing, and that's low for a ball. Andrew Sanchez, the DH, is on deck for the Rouse Raiders. So the Raiders, who produced some big innings in the Game 1 victory last night, scoring runs with small ball here. Swung on and missed by Miller. It'll be 1-2. They had no runs in the first or second inning, but they've plated 1 run in each of the last 3 innings.
You know, that's what makes them a dangerous team.
Here's the pitch from Hugo Rodriguez. Is going to be a ground ball to second. The runner was going. Throw to first base is not in time as the first baseman able to hang on to it. And there will be runners on the corners here with nobody out for the Raiders.
And now that sets up a big inning because there's no outs and runners on first and third, and Coach Cortinas is going to come out to talk to his young sophomore.
So Salazar able to get to third base. And it's Miller Miller at second.
Give credit to the Raiders, Mark, because the runner that went to second, Mustang should have gotten out at first, but because he went to third, that rushed the first baseman, and it led to an error.
Let me correct myself. A Miller actually at first base, not second. So runners on the corners with nobody out. And this first pitch is swung on, popped up into shallow left field, and catch made there by Gonzalez. Meanwhile, the runner tags up and changes his mind, runs back quickly, as Gonzalez did a great job not only making the catch, but quickly getting the ball back into the Mustang infield to prevent another run coming in.
And another big out for the Mustangs there. If they can keep it at 3-0, the Mustangs still have 6 outs. Shout outs to Nicky Trevino, Silvia Tanguma. Cecilia Esparza Salazar, Aurora Berrial, Lázaro Mendiola, Janie and Sam Buenteo, Veronica Barrera, Nena Gomez Rodriguez, Rita Herrera, Nicolás González,
So
Annie Holland Miller, Rita Reina,
and it looks like they'll be taking out the juice, Hugo Rodriguez, and they'll be bringing in a new pitcher. So while the new pitcher warms up, we'll take a quick break. It's the Raiders up 3-0 here in the 5th inning, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Today, students were able to see a watershed model, a demonstration of a model. We had representative from UTRGV that came in and helped assist in that demonstration to show them exactly how groundwater is actually flowing through underneath us and up to the surface. So the McAllen Education Foundation opens up applications every year to teachers, and teachers that have visions of projects but maybe not the financial capabilities for their students to engage in those projects.
What we're really working towards this year is to get more teachers involved in the grant application. We're trying to make it a little easier process because we do see that there's value in what we bring as a committee, as the McAllen Education Foundation, and we just hope that there's more teachers that get involved themselves and help the students. So for us, it's interesting to see where education is shifting and to be able to help drive that with some of our fundraising and the things we do outside of the school scene brings a lot of pride back into the city. And so for us, it's really exciting.
And welcome back here at the Jordanton Sports Complex. Jordanton, a 3A school, the beautiful turf field here in Jordanton, Texas. And right now it's the Raiders up 3-0. 3 runs on 8 hits with an error. Mustangs with no runs on 1 hit and 1 error. And who's our new pitcher warming up there, Mario?
It looks like the hero in the game 3 against Ivy, where he came in and held them in the last 3 innings. Did an excellent job, Kane Coy.
And that means since he moves from center field to pitcher, we've got a new center fielder out there, and that's R.J. Rios, who was a relief pitcher for the Mustangs. Pitched last night, in fact, 3 innings, and coming out there to play center field.
And you know, Mark, we talked about the resiliency about this team and bringing up those 2 names. Kane Coy did what he did in the 3rd game. And if he doesn't do that, I don't know the Mustangs will be here today. But in the top of the 9th, R.J. Rios, who usually pitches and rarely plays in the outfield, he was playing center field, Mark. And he's one that I went back to the replays, and he's one that came up with a tremendous catch to end the inning. And that is Mustang baseball to the best. And that's why they're here in the 5th round.
So here is Coy, a right-hander, facing Andrew Sanchez, the DH for the Raiders. Sanchez coming up to bat, or excuse me, this is the catcher, Xander Forcell.
Expect the runner from first to go to second.
Yeah, so runners on the corners with 1 out for Forcell.
And there you go.
Sanchez was out in the last inning. In this inning. That was the first out. And Forcell now with a 2-0 count. It's low, and he's got ball 3 now. Forcell reached on a single in the 4th inning, was replaced by a courtesy runner, Silva, who eventually scored.
And when you have base runners, especially at third, Mark, that puts the pressure on the defense, and that's why the entire infield is playing in.
1 out in the inning, 3-0 count. And he's going to walk on 4 pitches. Be just the 2nd walk issued by Mustang pitching here today, and Forcell is aboard.
We'll have a courtesy runner.
That's going to be Gavin Silva, who was a courtesy runner for Forcell back in the last inning. Eventually he scored. And this brings up Nathan Miller, the third baseman, who is 2 for 2 today.
So what Kane Coy has to try to do is just stop the Raiders from scoring. It's 3-0. Want to prevent the big inning.
They've got the bases loaded with 1 out here in the 5th inning. It's the pitch from Coy. That's low for a ball. It'll be 2-0 on the batter, Miller. Miller had a double back in the 2nd inning and then a bunt along the third base line back in the 4th.
A perfect bunt.
He shows the bunt here, lets that one go, and it's going to be a ball. It'll be 3-0 on Miller.
He's probably taking a couple of pitches. They're going to make Kane Coy throw strikes.
There's the 3-0 offering from Coy. Squaring up to bunt, lets that one go, and it's a called strike. It'll be 3-1 on Miller. So you've got Silva at first base, Landon Miller at second, and the pitcher Salazar at third base right now. 3-0. This is hit sharply toward left field. Left fielder settling under it. Gonzalez makes the catch for the 2nd out. Runner tags up at third and will score. And it'll be 4-0 Raiders here in the 5th inning. That was Salazar who tagged up and scored. And it was well hit by Nathan Miller. He gets an RBI.
Well, the Mustangs got an out. Kane Coy did a good job. Rather than just walk him and be in a situation with only 1 out, they did get an out on that play. And if Kane Coy can get out of this inning and the Mustangs down 4-0, they're within reach.
So runners on first and second now with 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Mason Gonzalez, the next batter up, takes a strike. Gonzalez 0 for 1, does have a walk. And that misses too low. It'll be 1-1 now to Gonzalez. Jacob Solis is on deck. He's the shortstop. Coy looking over at second. Now the windup and the pitch, and it's going to be fouled back. Be 1-2 now on Gonzalez.
We have Sandra Cortina, Marco Suarez.
Marco Suarez, one of our former board members. And now the runner going toward third. Throw over to third. Gets by the third baseman. And the runner's moving. Now runner comes home to score, making it 5-0. And the second runner advances all the way to third base. And so the Raiders finally getting their big inning, got 3 runs across here in the 5th, and they lead it 5-0.
And that's what the Raiders have done. That's what they did yesterday. And they're doing it again today. Being aggressive, making things happen.
So Landon Miller scored from second base there. And meanwhile, Silva, the courtesy runner who had come in for Forcell, advances all the way to third base. Count is 1-2 here on Gonzalez. And now 2-2. With 2 out in the inning. And this is swung on, hit toward the gap between center and left, and running over to make the catch is R.J. Rios, and that retires the side here in the Raider fifth. But the Raiders get 3 runs across and now lead it 5-0 as we head to the 6th inning. We'll be back in just a moment.
Well, the name of our grant was Get Out and Learn, and we know that providing our students with learning opportunities that are different from the traditional setting are great opportunities for our kids to learn and to grow, and they're able to learn about the nature around them and the world around them. So we were thinking of ideas and ways to be a little bit more innovative with learning spaces for our students, and we decided that if we wrote a grant, maybe we could make it a more functional space. And so we wanted to add some seating, we wanted to add some shade, and then maybe built in some opportunities for teachers to have further lessons. And so this is just a great place and space for all those kids to come out here and have learning opportunities.
They love coming outside. They always look forward to be here. They ask me to come and to identify. We bring our journals and they write on their journals. So they do enjoy it, and they do remember because we take it back to the classroom and we reflect, and they do their reflections on their journals. So it is also a pleasure for them to be here outside.
And we're back here at Georgianton Sports Complex. Mark May with Mario Reyna, 5-0. The Raiders lead it. They've scored in each of the last 3 innings, getting 1 run in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th inning, and lead it 5-0 on 8 hits. And Mustangs coming up to bat here in the 6th inning. We'll be sending to the plate the DH, Gael Aguirre, and then the left fielder, Etziel Gonzalez. Then they go to the top of the order with Kane Coy next to bat 3rd in this inning.
Can the Mustangs have one more big comeback, Mark? I'm trying to remember the game, that second game they had against Ivy when they were down 9-3. And then they made it 9-6, and on 2 occasions they brought the tying run to the plate. So we'll see if they can do that again today.
Swing and a miss there by Aguirre, and he's in an 0-2 hole. Yes, eventually losing that game 9-7, but came in back with those 4 runs late in that game. And I think that gave them some momentum as they went on to win the 3rd game by an 8-7 score that went 9 innings. And elevated the Mustangs into the regional championship. This is game 2, and here Aguirre hauled out on strikes here to start the Mustang 6th.
And when you're up already 5-0, I mean, the confidence for the pitcher has to be high, and early on in the game, Mark, the Mustangs were putting the ball in play. I mean, they were not striking out, but it was going straight to fielders, and give them credit. They were making the plays without any errors.
Salazar now with 3 strikeouts of Mustang batters. This coaxed the Mustangs into a lot of ground ball outs here today. First pitch swung on, fouled back by Gonzalez. He'll be 0-1.
He came in here as a reputation of being a strikeout pitcher, but early on, he wasn't getting too many strikeouts.
This outside will be 1-1. Well, of the 14 outs, Mario, by the Raiders, 13 have been ground ball outs or strikeouts, and only 1 has been a hit to the fly out to the outfield.
Yeah, he's keeping the ball down, and usually those kind of pitchers, sinking action, they're going to get ground balls. Reminds me of Framer Valdez of the Houston Astros. I think he's the number 1 pitcher for ground outs. He keeps the ball down, and you depend on your defense, and the defense has played very well for the Raiders.
The 2-2 pitch to Gonzalez, low, and he's got a full count now. Gonzalez 0 for 1 today. Top of the order, Kane Coy is on deck. So if Gonzalez can reach, the Mustangs have the top of the order coming up. And a swing and a miss, and Gonzalez becomes the second strikeout victim here in inning number 6. That'll bring up Coy. Coy is 0 for 2 today. And Coy, in fact, still looking for his first hit of the series. It's 0 for 5 overall. And looks at ball 1.
And Coy is a multiple sport athlete, the quarterback on the football team.
That's outside, and Coy is ahead in the count, 2-0. Jose Rivera, big name when it comes to Mustang offense, on deck right now.
Look at Coy's shoes, man. It matches his uniform.
And swung on, foul ball to the left. It'll be 2-1 now.
And also his batting gloves.
Nothing but Colombian blue.
A true Mustang.
We mentioned earlier the Raiders have been in the regional final 3 times in the last 4 years, looking to go to the state semifinals for the first time since 2021. Hit sharply down the third baseline. That's a fair ball. Coy is around first, heading for second base, and is going to be in there with a stand-up double. Mustangs have their first extra base hit today, and with 2 outs in the inning, they've got their big hitter, Rivera, coming up.
And that's a fighting spirit that we expect from Kane Coy, a very competitive player. You know he's going to play, give you all he can.
Just the second hit for Mustang hitters today, but the Mustangs have a runner in scoring position now for Jose Rivera. It's the first pitch to Rivera. High for a ball.
Hello to Myra Guerra.
Rivera 0 for 2 today. Another fastball. This is a called strike. It's 1-1.
I don't know if Salazar's going to challenge him with a fastball. He got him earlier on a slider. There it is. Mark, I'd like to send a shout out to your crew that you have. Usually when I show up, everything is ready. But today, because I traveled with you guys, I got to see how y'all set everything up. It is incredible trying to find Wi-Fi and cables all over the place, setting up 2 cameras. Unbelievable job, Mark. Congratulations.
Yeah, excellent crew. Yes, up here we got the 2 cameras, the wide and tight shots mainly. 3-1 now, the count to Jose Rivera.
Let's get a walk and get Presa up at the plate.
Oh, and the called strike on the outside. Be 3-2. But this umpire has been consistently allowing those outside strikes, hasn't he?
He's done a good job for both teams.
But Coy at second base. 3-2 pitch. Swung on, hit towards shortstop. Picked up in time, throw to first, and that retires the side. So the Mustangs still down 5-0. They'll be down to their last 3 outs. But first we've got the bottom of the 6th coming up. The Raiders coming up to bat. We'll be right back.
What we're basically doing is giving kids a chance to write in a different aspect beyond academic. And what this club was really supposed to be bringing to the kids was an opportunity to use creative voices in writing and be able to establish their author's craft while bringing their own internal voice to their writing. A lot of the ideas and the corrections came from the students, and for students to be telling an English teacher, 15-year veteran teacher, oh, I think this might be a better idea, and me taking it as their sponsor, you know, that's a really good wake-up call that we need to be listening more to what the kids' input is, because that's going to be more impactful, especially when we're talking about a product the students are making.
I really see this as a booster club for academics. And it really is, as far as fundraising goes, a very easy sell, because the community is so ready, willing, and able to support teachers. Obviously, riding is important for everyone, but professionally speaking, there is a distinction between good riders and bad riders, and when you see a good rider, it really does say a lot about you. It does say a lot about your education, and I'm so proud that these future riders will be carrying McAllen ISD with them and representing them with a small support from McAllen Education Foundation.
I like working with everybody. It's like a good teamwork. I like this team, and it's like fun and exciting for me. Also, like reading too helps. I'm doing better in class because I know how to write better.
And welcome back, Mark Meg with Mario Reyna. Bottom of the 6th inning coming up. And Mustangs need to play defense here, try to keep it at 5-0, and then they'll have a chance in the top of the 7th inning to try to come back in this game. They can extend the game and possibly win game 2. It would force a game 3 to decide this best-of-3 series. Winner will move on to take on Region 2 champion Lovejoy. Lovejoy out of Lucas, Texas, up near Dallas. It's 28-7 or 29-7.
The other team that has advanced, I believe, is Magnolia West, and they are a powerful program. They won the state championship last year.
Yeah, last year's state champion still in it. And in fact, of all the teams left, they're all ranked in the top 10 in Class 5A teams. Read those teams in a moment here as the first pitch by Kane Coy. Got a new batter here, batting for Jacob Solis.
How about that, Mark? My 8-year-old grandson says he wants a shutout. So I'm going to send him a shutout to Ethan. How you doing? You better be behaving. He always does.
New batter is Diego Gaitan, batting in place of Jacob Solis here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1-2 to Gaitan. And the high, it'll be 2-2.
Diana Partida says hello.
Raiders have gotten 2 hits in each of the last 4 innings. They have 8 hits total. Full count now on Gaitan.
They hit him.
That's our first hit batter of the entire game by either side. And we'll go to the top of the order now, and that'll bring up Rainer Heinrich. Heinrich 1 for 3 today. Had an infield single back in the 3rd and eventually scored after he stole 2 bases to put himself 90 feet away, and then was brought in by Oscar Salazar's double 2 batters later. And Heinrich has had a pretty good series as well. Swung on and missed. Heinrich down 0-1.
That shows you the type of velocity that Kane Coy can bring. Anytime you can blow a ball, a fastball, on the first hitter of any team, that means you have a decent fastball.
And runner going, and Cabrera, with the pitch being high and outside, will not make a play on that. And it's a stolen base here for Gaitan. That's the 4th stolen base today by Raider base runners.
Look at this, Mark. I was just told that Waco Midway was up 6-3. And a grand slam by the Weslaco Lady Panthers. Weslaco wins the state championship.
Wow, congratulations, Lady Pantherettes. Swing and a miss there by Heinrich, and he's now down 1-2 in the count. Runner in scoring position for the Raiders here in the bottom of the 6th.
I do want to say that was a text I got. I'm not 100%, but it's a reliable source. So, wow, on a grand slam, Mark?
Wow, the state championship, too. The pitch by Coy, and this is high. It'll be 2-2. We were talking about some of the other teams out there in Region 1, the Grapevine Mustangs, 36-4 record. They are ranked second in the state, taking on the Argyle Eagles, who are ranked first in the state. So we got 1 versus 2 there out in Region 1. And this is hit toward the gap in right center. And Rios running over from his center field spot to make the catch for the first out. And that'll hold up Gaitan at second.
For someone that hasn't played in the outfield for most of the season, Rios looks like he's a natural center fielder. And they didn't want to challenge him on a tag up because, you know, Coach Kremlin knows that he has a good arm because he's a pitcher.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say a very accurate arm, being a pitcher. Espinosa, the new batter. Oh, and I think a balk called, and they're going to advance the runner. Is that correct?
That's what happened.
We saw Coy look over and stepping off the bag. And can you explain briefly what the balk rule entails?
The balk rule is simply there in place to protect the runners. The pitchers have to follow the rules. They can't deceive.
This is outside for a ball.
It looked like he had started the pitching motion, and then he stopped. And you have to step off with your pivot foot, which for Coy is his right foot, and he didn't. When the umpire was right on top of it, he couldn't miss it.
That's in play. If there was runners on the bases, they each advance one base. In this case, only one base runner advances from second to third. Meanwhile, we have a called strike on Espinosa, who's now in a 1-1 count with 1 out here in the 6th. Gaitan at third base. Here's the 1-1, and that's a called strike. And now Coy is ahead in the count.
The Mustang infielders are playing in to prevent another run.
It's the 1-2.
Oh, that was close.
Yeah, a little high, 2-2.
So who are the crew up here, Mark?
We've got Raul Ramos on camera. We have an unmanned camera. There's a ground ball hit to third base. Bobbled, now a throw. It's going to be off target, and the runner will be safe. A runner comes in from third, and it's going to be 6-0 here for the Raiders.
And that has been the story of the game, that the aggressive base running by the Raiders, they challenge you to make outs, has created situations where the Mustangs have not executed, and it has led to runs for the Raiders. So we have Raul Ramos on camera.
Raul Ramos, and then Joe De La Garza producing or directing, actually, and then Roy Gonzalez, who's helping produce. And we have the unmanned camera as well. We also have Victoria Alvarado is taking photos. Here's a throw over to first base. Runner back in time. So Gaitan scored from third base on the error, the Mustangs' third error of the game. And that made the score 6-0.
The other thing on the balk, I mean, you got to give Kane Coy. He doesn't pitch a lot. So you can easily forget what the rules are for pitchers.
Coy throws over to first base. Espinosa back in time. Salazar, the pitcher, is at the plate with the 1-0 count. Salazar with a single last time up, eventually scored. He's 2 for 3 today at the plate, including an extra base hit, a double back in the third.
I think Salazar is going to end up at Weatherford College. Where's that at, Mark?
Weatherford. I'll have to look that one up. Runner thinking about going, decides not to. Breaking ball outside. Cabrera does a good job to get in front of that. Two 2-0 the count on Salazar. It's a runner on first base with 1 out here in the 6th inning. Again, throw to first.
This is a very young team, the McAllen Mustangs, Mark.
Fastball. This is hit high and deep to left center. And the left fielder unable to get it. Runners moving along the bases, rounding second, rounding third now, and headed for home. Here comes the throw, not in time, and the run is safe. It's going to be 7-0 Raiders, and they've got a runner on second base, still only one out here in the 6th inning. So Espinoza scoring all the way from third off the RBI single by Salazar. Third RBI today for Salazar.
And the bubbles are out by the Rouse Raider fans. Boy, was that a hit or not, Mark? That's what makes you an all-stater. You can do it all. He can hit, and he can pitch.
Meanwhile, we've got Landon Miller up to bat now. Miller reached on an error in the 5th inning, eventually scored. He's officially 0 for 3 today, though. And this one is hit. It's going to be a ground ball, a single towards center field. Long throw, not in time. Another run comes in. And the Raiders have plated 2 runs here in the 6th inning and now lead it 8-0. Salazar coming all the way around.
Now with the Mustangs down 8-0 here in the bottom of the 6th, it brings a tying run. And if he scores, Mark, the game is over on a 10-run rule.
That's right. They've got the winning run at the plate now, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Is he a pinch hitter? I think he's a pinch hitter, Mark. They're signaling up here, number 18.
Yeah, 18, Robert Turbe, batting in place of the DH, Andrew Sanchez. Looks at strike one. Mustangs have given up 3 runs for the 2nd straight inning. A 2-0 game has become a 8-0 game here relatively quickly.
Even though things are not going well for the Mustangs, much can be learned by this experience, Mark.
Yeah, Mustangs have a lot of youth on this team. A lot of players coming back next year as this is fouled off by Turbe.
Except the season for them next year because of what they've accomplished. They're not going to be a surprise team. I guarantee you they're not going to be predicted 5th in their own district. They're going to have some good pitching, some good defense. They're going to be a program to be dealt with next year.
Runner on first is going now. Swing and a miss. Throw towards second, not in time. And Miller has a stolen base. And he'll be safe at second, still with 1 out. Pitch was a strike on Turbe. And so he's down 0-1 in the count. Or it might be 0-2. They haven't updated the scoreboard just yet. Runner on second, pitch to Turbe is a called strike.
Well, if the Mustangs can hang on and go bat in the top of the 7th, maybe they can get some Westlaco magic. Listen to this, Mark. They scored, they were down 9-3 going into the 7th and ended up winning 11-9 on a grand slam.
Oh, my goodness.
They scored a bunch of runs. That's unheard of. They scored 8 runs to win 11-9. So you never know until the last out.
1-1 pitch here to Turbay. Swing and a miss, and strike 2. I thought he had 2 strikes on him, but officially it's 1-2 now on him with 2 outs here in the 6th. Runner on second base for the Raiders. That's Landon Miller at second. Turbay at the plate.
There you go.
And called out on strikes is Turbay. And that'll do it for the Raiders in the 6th inning as they plate 3 more runs and lead 8-0 as we head to the 7th inning. It'll be the last chance. It'll be do or die for the Mustangs when we come back.
I just wanna
At McAllen ISD, every voice matters, a community dedicated to shaping the future of every student with a legacy of success and accomplishments. Join McAllen ISD, where every student is a story waiting to be told.
And we're back here in Jordanton, Texas. MITV Sports bringing you this game, the live stream coverage. The McAllen Memorial Mustangs in the regional final, trailing here in game 2 by a score of 8-0. And Mustangs needing to come all the way back. They need at least 8 runs to force extra innings here.
Let's give credit to the fans, Mark. Even though they're down 8-0, the McAllen Memorial fans are still here. Nobody has left.
First pitch swung on and is a ground ball towards second. Throw over to first in time for out number 1. That's Emilio Presa, the third baseman. Swung at that first pitch. And Eloy Lozano, the first baseman, will come up. Lozano 0 for 2 today. He'll be followed by Jacob Sanchez, who is 5th in the order. Called strike on the inside. Oscar Salazar looking at what could be a possible complete game here for him.
He does a good job too. I mean, sometimes he gets a little wild, but when he needs to throw strikes, that's what he does.
Has 5 strikeouts today. Has allowed only 2 hits.
The Mustangs did a good job early on putting the ball in play, but it's just, that's baseball, Mark. It was going straight to the fielders, and the infielders were making the plays. Even on one of them, I remember it looked like it was going to be a hit. The second baseman did a great job on the defensive side.
Eloy Lozano has worked up a 3-1 count now. 1 out, nobody on. Swung on, fouled off. Do want to give a quick shout out to the McAllen High School Mariachi Oro, who are flying to New York this weekend to perform at Carnegie Hall.
Are you kidding me?
So they qualified for that. They sent an audition tape and were selected for that. So congratulations. Here's a ball swung on, hit, fly ball towards center field. Catch is made by Landon Miller, and there are 2 out here in the Mustang 7th.
Well, Mark, the Mustangs are down to the last out. I just want to say I've been around the game of baseball in the Rio Grande Valley for at least 50 years. And this run by the McAllen Mustangs was epic, historic, and everybody should be so proud of this Mustangs, which I know there's a lot of people that are real proud of them. And they deserved all the attention they got because of what they did.
Jacob Sanchez up. He's 0 for 2 today, although he reached on an error back in the 5th inning.
And here's the other thing, Mark. Maybe you are facing right now the state champions. We never know.
1-0 count. Yeah, all of these teams left, and there's a called strike. It's me 1-1 now. Yeah, all the teams left in Class 5A are all ranked in the top 10, so there are no gimmies by any means. The top of the class for 5A, swung on, fouled back. It'll be 1-2 for Sanchez, and the Mustangs are down to their last strike. Raiders up 8-0. Sanchez should reach. Daniel Flores is on deck. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. A strikeout, and the ball game is over. The sixth strikeout for Salazar, and the Raiders are the Region 4 Class 5A champions. And they'll be headed to the state semifinals. Congratulations to them. First time in 3 years that they have made it this far. And the Raiders improving to 35-19 with a tie, and the Mustang season ends at 26-16. But what a season it was for the Mustangs!
Unbelievable.
They do lose in 2 games here to the Raiders, losing last night, and then 8-0 our final score here in game number 2. The Raiders out hitting the Mustangs 10-2, and then 1 error on the Raiders, 3 errors on the Mustangs. But a great season, the best season in 44 years of the program for the McAllen Memorial Mustangs under their second-year coach, Roque Cortinas, and I have a feeling they're going to be back, Mario.
Oh, no doubt about it. This is just the start of the foundation, the changing of the culture. They got the majority of the kids back, and this team, Leander Rouse, with the pitching staff that they have, the defense, and the hitting that they got through, it is an outstanding team, and they will represent Region 4 very well at the state tournament.
Yeah, the Mustangs picking up a lot of playoff experience today, go all the way to the 5th round, 2 rounds further than any other Mustang team in the history of the program. But
and check out the sportsmanship, Mark.
Oh, yes. Yeah, see the teams shaking hands. Mario, appreciate your help today. I appreciate the MITV crew as well, and appreciate you for tuning in and supporting the Mustangs on their tremendous playoff run. That'll do it from here in Jordanton, Texas. The Leander Rouse Raiders with the 8-0 victory. And we'll sign off from Jordanton, Texas. Have a good rest of your evening. Good night.
Yeah, oh my Lord, watch me sway. Darkness falls and we all pray, hoping for the light of day. Down to the river I have held the devil's hand, felt the weight of my own sin, burdened by the heart of man. Down to the river, down to the river.